exciting.
Yeah, man, I don't know. If VSM doesn't show up, then the trip to the RMR is just going to be all that much harder for Fluxo. Like, they've proven it wasn't completely one-sided without him, but it also wasn't easy. So now you head into Ancient, and it's already not starting off the way you would have hoped, honestly. Yoda finding a quick 2K to open up the round with the bomb site, sure, under the control of Fluxo, but how long is that going to stay the case, especially when you're down 4-on-2 and the bomb and CT spawn? It doesn't seem like it'll be for very much longer. As there's CTs at every single corner, you decide to go all up to Lux, and he's got no hope in this one.
Yeah, not going to get into this round at all, I don't think. MIBR shutting things down quite tidily. Lux testing the waters here. Nice angle to find the first. Trades aren't there yet either, but he has no armor. He just can't take enough fights here. Doesn't have enough HP, but he finds another headshot. Surely not. Yeah, eventually he'll get bested. Exit's going to nail the headshot after a little while, and MIBR starting things off with a pistol. I don't believe we saw a knife round. I think MIBR just got CT side, so I wonder how it's selected in the RMR. Either way, with that thought, I mean, you got CT side sort of Ancient as well, and that's a very strong way to kick off a decider on this map.
Yeah, so much so that Fluxo just once again decided to go for this full eco. You've got one deagle in the mix, but you're again just probably gaming for a bomb plant. Though, again, the new changes to this map do make it a lot easier for you to win, or not necessarily win, but get that bomb down on rounds like this, where there's only really like 1 or 2 avenues you've got to worry about, barring you have smokes. So, yeah, they're just going to go 5-man into the A site and hope it works good. I'd say aggression from Turtle, I assume soon to be flashed into the B ramp. Nobody's here. And now they find out where the rest of the force is. Exit just trying to deny that number, getting punched in. It's not him to do it, but it's the MP9 at long range. Still very spotless for them in the second.
Yeah, that's just how it needed to be, right? Dealing with the Glocks is about as easy as possible. Denying the bomb plant as well. About as clean as you'll like right there. And here's where the investments come through. Bonus round for sure to come through from MIBR. That is a guarantee. Got 3 MP9s in play, right? So they're going to be looking to utilize those to full effect, get in your face. And out of all the maps here, I mean, Nuke and Ancient, I feel like, are the maps that you can get away with this the most, right? A lot of close range choke point angles that you can hold on to. For now, mid-aggression coming through with one of those rifles being held in Jota. And all backs are turned here. No smoke thrown down. And he delays that smoke out just a little bit.
Oh, that could have been so big. Turtle needed that if MIBR wanted to come back into this round. They still aren't out of it by any means, but not favored in the slightest. It's 4-on-3. Not only that, they have almost no map control. Space to be taken by Brenzen, who spots a man in the corner. A whiff is punished. Woody won't be getting away with that one. And with the bomb still in a recoverable distance, Fluxo need to make their move here shortly. They've got a lot of ways they could do it. They've got ways to go back through mid on a rotation to A. They could just go powering into B. They've got plenty of util. The issue is the health. You've got Lucaozy with the bomb on his back, the carrier, half HP. And while MIBR's health ain't much better, all it takes is one lucky headshot and this round gets instantly shut down.
Doubt. Yeah, next it's going to make a bit of a late rotation here. It's all about avoiding him. He's the only player with a little bit of HP in reserve and that deadly A1S as well. And Henny's back's turn. This is him dead to rights. It's going to be Exit trying to make that late rotation in, but his cutoff point coming through here from the likes of Lux is going to be hard to bypass. And CT spawn numbers starting to get planted in. I don't even know if Exit's very interested in bypassing this red room angle. He's just going to fall on off, and Lux is chasing him down.
No. That's a warning shot. Exchanges the bullets. Lux somehow comes out the victor. That's a big loss to take if you're MIBR. You needed to save these guns into the next, or, well, they maybe didn't need, but you certainly wanted to, considering how hard you committed to the save with 1 kill taken away from you. But if there's one thing I gotta give credit to MIBR, it's just how disciplined they are. Now, across multiple maps, they have just been like, you know what? When we don't need it, we're not gonna go for it. No reason to force the issue, but it's not one that needs to be forced when VSM's got your tail right behind you. And I won't say it's 100% convincing for Fluxo. There was a way that that round goes south, but hey, man, it's a good start for the T side.
Yeah, I mean, it's always the case. You just have to bypass that bonus round if you're Fluxo. If you lose it, it's kind of debilitating, I feel like. For the T side, it can really get you off to a struggling start. So closing that one out is a must, that's for sure. Able to get past it. Utility thrown out towards middle here. And in this occasion, not as much mid presence as last. set a lot of presence down the B ramp here. Smoke's already through, and the flashes, the counter utility is so well placed.
Lucaozy took such a big bullet for the team there, man. He jumps through the smoke to make sure VSM doesn't get spotted, draws that attention, and allows for a 2K to come back. That is team play to a T. And Fluxo, again, grinning with the rewards that come of it. A 4-on-3 once again, and MIBR give up so much space in response. You've got Yoda getting a bit aggressive in the A tunnels. Now, he'll spot nothing here, but the actions they make after it change the entire outcome of the round. And honestly, you could just park it right here if you wanted to, but he's going to try to abuse this timing. Yoda, he could have so many players lined up for him here in a second. Nothing but green grass in front of him. As the bomb carrier now spotted, gives all the info over to his teammates. Exit can't get the smoke down in time, so he's got to play his life around the big box, and he's already delivered on two. Flash a bit misplaced. It's a bit too late, and they keep giving him these 1v1s. They won't even get the bomb plant because Exit has got all of them covered. A 4K for him shuts down any response that Fluxo could possibly make.
God, that's just textbook isolating duels right there from Exit. That's about as good as it gets, and that's what he can bring to the table right here for MIBR. So precise, so clean with those headshots, making that A1S thing to perfection. And that's a great recovery right there for MIBR. They lose the bonus, but they bounce back swiftly with an answer. Fantastic work here, but this time just a B rush here with the Tech 9s. I love this call. Throw this into the hat here, but the HC's barrage down is going to do a lot of damage.
A lot of info to work with right now if you're MIBR. Turtle, he's picked up the first, and he's got a player here for the crossfire. They want to find this frag, but Lucaozy so labored does. Two taken back. And with the side under Fluxo's control, they're still in a disadvantage, but they get the bomb down regardless. Not for long are they in the driver's seat, though. As Exit CT flank may have just shut this one down. VSM is recovered an AK, but he's got so much work to do, and he's not going to get anywhere closer to doing it. Already spammed through the wall to 12 HP. Finally, they give it up, but the damage has been done.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to get back into this one. VSM low on HP, but he doesn't have a 1v3. Surely not. Yeah, he'll be taken down through the smoke, and he's just going to collect. He's had a couple. I mean, honestly, that's been the win condition. Fluxo closed out Vertigo because he won two 1v3s in two different halves of overtime. So that was kind of a win condition right there. And now we head into Ancient, the third map. Everyone's got to be feeling a bit drained. That was a long first map. We're getting the distance out of these two teams. And so mistakes are definitely going to show, but Fluxo struggling to lift off here in the early parts of Ancient. It's no surprise. This is a T side of Ancient. You just want to collect a little bit of wiggle room here in the first half and really bolster up that defense.
Yeah, but this ratio right now is so despairing for Fluxo, and look at the aggression from MIBR. They won't take their foot off the gas. They keep the pressure on, even in the heat of the moment, and Yoda is rewarded with an opening pick. 4v5. Fluxo, they keep getting put in this early round disadvantage. You can usually tell, like, it's always determined within the first 30 seconds who wins these rounds, whether it's MIBR losing an opening pick and having to fall back into sights, or whether it's Fluxo not able to pan the aggression out in their favor and letting MIBR get comfy.
Oh, they're getting shut down. Thwarted at every angle here. Any Angelta combining for a couple of kills apiece, and they nearly line up for Turtle. That was scary stuff. That could have been the round over there. Nonetheless, flashes just to keep him at bay, and Turtle knows he doesn't really have to go too far forward here in his position. He's got a 5-on-2. There's no need to push up. Exit. He doesn't know that same lesson, apparently. He's trying to run into their spawn, so at the moment, answer back here, but I don't know if it's enough to get into this round. In the meantime, they take space towards Catwalk, and Fluxo had to pull this round from the brink.
Yeah, I don't even think they have faith in this one. You could kind of tell. So slow. I mean, I don't know if they're hoping for a mistake from MIBR, if their game plan is just saving the guns into the next. This was your full investment. You dipped all your eggs into this basket. And the fact that it looks this way is very uninviting to future rounds to go your direction. I mean, again, yeah, it's the T side of Ancient, but eventually you've got to say to yourself, like, guys, this is 5-1. Everything is going their way. And I mean, you look back at that one round that Fluxo won. I still stand by the fact that it's not that convincing. There's a big point in time where it's 3-on-3. The whole round kind of banks on the fact that Henny on the A site was turned around. If that doesn't happen, if that MP9 is a bit better in positioning, you probably see 6-0, honestly.
Yeah, no doubt, right? They made a bit of a commitment to gamble, and sometimes they gamble right with their stacks. Sometimes it's not correct, and that was just one of the occasions that it wasn't. They could have been even more scary, but luckily they do avoid that fate. It's a weird save, though, in the previous. They're holding on to an AK with no utility, really, and Lucaozy and FXvsm holding on to a Galil. It doesn't really show promising signs for what a round is to come here. Fast towards the cave side, though. Utility in. Molly's just going to keep him at bay, so BR in. Gonna wisely avoid this early exchange, and Jota playing so sneaky around the smoke. His teammate does damage, and he's just gonna line up 2 kills. That's incredible.
He is so flawless right now, man. He refuses to go down without at least taking 1 with him. This time it's 2, but the pain doesn't end there. They keep the aggression on. Lux jumps up through a barrel of flames, and well, Woody's gone a bit undetected. Wait a second, I could change my mind here in a second. Okay. Almost a bit daunting as Turtle falls to the Tech 9, now leaving it all up to Brenzen on the B defense. Picks up the first, but with the lacking of bullets, he's got to switch to the sidearm. And with that comes a 2-on-3. The bomb's still in the hands of the defense as MIBR encompass around the flank. And they still have to fight their way out of this very weird spot they put themselves in.
Yeah, it's not a fun position, right? Hard to bypass this. Woody on Tech 9. Oh, feels so hard to deal with it. Henny got to finish the job. Jota and Henny just shutting down that round so swiftly with the multi-kills. And that's like that's a quasi force spike coming through from Fluxo that really doesn't bear any fruit for the most part. Not too much economic damage done. No bomb plant, and look where it leaves him off at. It's into a timeout now, and they have to make a tough decision. Do they want to keep up the forces? The answer's going to be yes. Very committed to this.
I mean, they're stuck in this weird endless loop, right? Where they end a round without having that much money, and it all kind of starts back from the point of them saving. You were going into what was supposed to be an eco in the next, but since you saved with 2 players, you had to force. So now you're stuck with next to no money. Not enough to go for a buy. If you save once, you end up buying again. It's not all that great. Sure, you've got all the weapons there, but the big question is, where are the nades? You need them to take space, and without them, MIBR have just made this map look easy so far.
Yeah, no doubt. It's just not going to be an easy clawback. You're going to be going for a lot of these early exchanges, and MIBR going to meet you every step of the way at those fights. The FXvsm has bypassed a lot of that utility here, and has stuck his way in towards cave. This could catch him off guard. It seems like they're prepped.
Fluxo have gotten control of middle this time, which has usually been the bane of them in most of these rounds, whether it's 1 or 2 kills not going their way and then a fallback. MIBR have usually been the dominant force here. But now if you take a look at the defense, it feels like they're kind of being encroached in every direction. And even full cave control given up to Fluxo, who move their way into this B site. 3 players here, and timing is going to be absolutely everything. If they catch Woody and drop this bomb, the round ends there, but they get sandwiched on themselves from cave, then there probably won't be a response that's allocated to them.
Setup here is very, very deadly at the moment for MIBR. Need a pop flash, something along those lines. Fluxo patient as ever. But if they walk towards that ramp dry, it's not going to look pretty for them. Utility starting to rain on out here. Turtle going to peek forward. He just cleans up 2. Denies access here. And they still have such a strong setup elsewhere. Hitting, going to get caught on this rotation. Sure, there's still a player in Donut, and they still haven't even recovered bomb. This play is so disjointed. Sure, you'll find a couple of kills elsewhere on the map, but it's all meaningless at the end of the day without bomb in your hand.
I feel like that's the story of Fluxo on these T sides too. I mean, you look back on Dust 2, where a lot of those T rounds in the later stages of the game just looked disjointed, where some players on Fluxo had one idea and the rest had another. That's exactly what we just saw right there. You had people taking control of cave, you had somebody trying to lurk A, you had players trying to move up B ramp, and it didn't ever seem like they were thinking, well, what happens if you die, or what happens if this goes wrong? Well, it's in front of our eyes. Nothing goes their way. I mean, they lose the bomb well in this territory of the CTs, and there's no chance to respond to it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just kind of over within 1 exchange, right? You find those 2 kills towards ramp. You limit that attack to only 1 prong of that cave side, and it's being covered. It's smoked off. There's just nothing you could do to really win that round. You just got to call it quits, and that's a tough position to be in so quickly on that execute. They're getting shut down systematically pretty much. Utility thrown in towards the top of spams right on the money. Turtle just continuing to deliver the pain.
This is the worst part too. They can't even help on the mid help. Frenzen's pretty much got full control if he wanted it, but doesn't take it just yet. Instead isolates the T side, exit, chilling and donut, waiting for his prey to come into him. And Fluxo, well, they've got next to nothing left when it comes to their utility belts. A mere flashbang and a nade, and you can know how difficult it is to get onto either one of these sites without him. Just allows the op to have an absolute feeding frenzy. Henny sat over an A-ton solo, and he just doesn't care.
And he's getting no action here on the map. It's been B and mid consistent point of contention here for both sides for the most part. BRN gonna find an opening pick there to trade at the very least here. Lux looking to make his move out towards cave. He's stuck between a very awkward angle. A lot of players waiting around the corner here. He finds another headshot. He does turn for another. Everyone getting shut down with a nade out. He's on the 4K. BRN single-handedly defending that B site. That is just incredible.
This game into a T, doesn't it? You leave it to Woody with the op in his hands with no way to get this bomb, and I think he's just going to bring the big unit to the next round. There's no reason to try to go for this one. You're not going to make a big dent in their economy, and you're not going to be doing your team any favors. 8-1, man. What a one-sided start from MIBR.
Yeah, I just don't think Ancient... It's just probably the worst map to play in a decider starting off on that T side. It's super, super punishing. Especially just given the fact that both of these teams are already very gassed, right? Both of them are feeling the heat, feeling the pressure right now in this matchup. So now to try and finish things off on a map like Ancient, where early on you're realizing how CT-sided it can feel. I don't know what exactly you're going to pull out of the hat to try and muster up some momentum. It's late in the game right now. Best of 3 third map. You gotta find some miracle. Someone's gotta activate here.
And it's not even like they don't have somebody pulling frags. Like, you had Lucaozy at the beginning of this game looking like an animal, opening up sites with ease, taking space like no man else. But past that, it just kind of seems like everybody on Fluxo is waiting for somebody else to make the move. It looks like in this round it's going to have to be Woody. He's entrusted with the op still, no surprise there, but he's not able to deliver on an opening pick that Fluxo desperately needed.
Yeah, Woody kind of forced right now to play more aggressively with the op. I mean, one sort of lifeline that we got out of their T sides was, or rather CT sides, when all was failing. Lucaozy seemed to be very effective opening proceedings up with the op. So, Woody, I think, has to deliver some of that same energy right here in this round. It's not going to be easy at all. Everyone on an MIBR playing sharp in the third map.
Yeah, well, disciplined too. Almost every time you look at them, it feels like they've got a crossfire set up in one way or another. Henny, a rare miss from him. I mean, we've been talking about how he's not been getting that much action. I mean, it's for a good reason.
Not able to connect just yet, but it shouldn't really be the end of the world. They're trying to walk into this B bomb set, but same problems continue. They're walking into Turtle, who's forward and aggressive. It cuts off that prong of approach. You can't make rounds towards that ramp set. You can't make rounds towards B if you're getting deleted. BRN nails a stunner. Turtle's available for the trade, dropping bomb once again. 20 seconds left. Is Woody gonna save? He didn't even fire a shot with that op, did he? And
he did, I think.
He has 8 bullets. Yeah, you're right. Fired 2 shots. Finally to connect, but a hollow victory, it seems.
Well, I mean, he's going to keep trying to eat away at this one. Little by little, he moves his way out of cave. Even for a second there, he could have even taken the op away from them, but Henny wins the close-range shotgun op duel, and MIBR keep their streak rolling. When was the last time they lost a round? Was it 7 ago or 6? I don't know, but if you're Fluxo, it feels like it's been forever.
Yeah, they only lost the bonus round, really. It was with a bunch of MP9s as well, so it was largely off the back of that. MIBR, since then, have battened down the hatches. Denied access. Turtle playing very, very solid. BRN as well. I mean, not to mention Exit's multi-frag
Yeah.
Everyone really having their impact right now.
This is just a dumpster fire, honestly. MIBR have every response covered for. His CT side looks so incredibly strong. Like, where is the weak spot? Like, you can even tell from the beginning couple of rounds, MIBR have stopped taking so much aggressive space. But it hasn't gone against them yet.
Yeah, it feels like wherever they do aggress is definitely the ideal position as well, right? With a couple of those rampart plays panning out so well for them in terms of getting multi-kills. So, I mean, if they just keep that up, they're going to be golden here. A different approach. Very lacking presence towards that B side. A couple of players playing out towards that long position, but no one too committed. And Hendy's going to get a chance with that AWP here once again. Covering multiple different angles. He's ready for that high-low play.
Oh, and he connects the leg too. Not the kill, but still a lot of damage dealt. 40 seconds to go, and they decide to go barging into the A site. But through the smoke, it seems like they meet their fate. Exit doesn't need any form of vision to shut this one down. And 30 seconds to go. You're right, they cancel, but where do they go? Less than 50 HP combined when you look at two of their players. What are you going to do?
They're trying to make their way, all 4 players, through the red room here. There's 20 seconds left on the clock, and there's so much resistance to deal with.
Yoda spotted, bomb dropped on the cross, and they want to try to take him down. He's a one-man army, but apparently 2 is his limit. Moving through CT spawn, Henny's response is not there. 10 seconds to go. All he has to do is wait. They can't possibly win this round, and now they know that. They stay in CT spawn and keep their hands on their weapons, but double-digit rounds for MIBR means bad scenes for Fluxo.
This is a consistent problem for Fluxo as well. They just don't give themselves enough time to really pull off these executes, right? I mean, time is of essence here. They're trying to late push through a smoke. And Donut, of course, it's not going to go well for you. Exit has already shown what he can do alone. He had backup in Henny right there, so they're walking into these traps every way. It's one-pronged approaches. I mean, I don't know what exactly is the best-case scenario here, but I feel like MIBR are grabbing every bit of it.
I mean, it's just disjointed takes. That's kind of it. You boil it down to a science. Like, it's not like MIBR doing anything super crazy. Like, that wasn't a read. They didn't say, okay, well, we have full ramp control. Now we know they're going to go A or something. Like, that was a default hold. That was 2-3. They didn't have that information. So what does that mean? The takes from Fluxo just haven't been great. A little bit of info spotted by Henny on the retreat, and one smoke ruins their whole take?
Yeah, that's just it. They don't have enough time for you know, delays in their game plan, right? Not giving themselves enough of that. And look at this. Early exchange here towards middle. Can't escape the nade, though. At the very least, though, I mean, I feel like after all is said and done, you'll kind of take a 4-on-4, right? That gives you a chance to catch them off guard. And there's another advantage right there found from Lucaozy. A big pickup there. It's still a lot of low HP bars on this T side, but it's been a long time coming since they've had a man advantage.
Yeah, this is big. Fluxo finally capitalized on the mistakes made by MIBR on the CT side, but what's the response? They finally get a chance to show what they're going to be made of when they're on the back burner, but again, I mean, this is just kind of weird. MIBR, sure they're not in the driver's seat, but they did it again, where they just say, you know what, let's stack a site, it doesn't work, we save. It's not even like it's that unwinnable. Look at all the nades they have. This nade could take down 2 players.
I think they just don't realize how much damage they've actually done in this round.
Probably.
A lot of util damage being done and spam through smoke probably. Because if they had the same vision that we had, I'm sure they'd be going for this any day of the week, right? But Fluxo grabbing around to the hat, and I mean, MIBR kind of keeping their game plan consistent. We've seen this many times before with them. They love these kind of gamble stacks when they're down a man. They so often, more so than actually aggressing in man disadvantages on the CT side, they just go for these gamble calls. It's a pretty consistent game plan here, and this occasion doesn't work out. But I agree with you. I mean, I don't think they realized how winnable this round was.
I mean, I also really didn't like that stack from MIBR, because let's think of this entire game so far. Not once have Fluxo, okay, no, I'm sorry, they did once, but that was on an eco. Not once, other than that eco, have they taken A through tunnels. At most, they've had a lurk there who doesn't do anything till something happens on the other side of the map.
Yeah.
So they've put all this presence on the fact that they're going to come A, because they get 1 kill in middle.
Yeah, that's a good point. We haven't seen any action towards A almost at all. For the most part, it's been heavy presence towards B. So definitely not playing to the tendencies right now. But still, I mean, they're in the driver's seat. There's no doubt about it here. A lot of attention being drawn in towards Lux. Spots out that Opera in the back of the big box, forcing him out. The pre-fires are good. But Henny staying alive here. So crucial. It definitely has drawn in a lot of attention. In the meantime, Fluxo making the way up ramp. This is much different to what we've seen previously.
Dollaroos and this B-site defense is still somewhat split up. Brenson, oh, he catches the worst of the timing. He's going to walk right back into the barrel of Woody, and they both get shut down with only one respondent on the trade. And it's about time we see MIBR go for a round like this. It's so winnable if they get this kill right here. Back to 3-on-3. And with the flash going deep, it blinds up both of them. They want more of a response, and Phelps will find it. Now Yoda has no avenue of escape. He's got to give this one an attempt. Henny flashing deep from CT spawn, but without a kill being found from him, this round is next to impossible. One molly to work with and 2 kits to go. So the timer won't be that big of a factor. It's just more about finding these kills. If they do, if they don't, well, we're about to find out. The molly forces a man into the open. And this looks a bit more winnable.
Ooh.
Now even spawning a second. Yoda hits a beautiful headshot, and it's all up to Lux. Sat behind the wall. The bomb is tapped. They know he's coming from cave, and he looks the wrong way. Yoda picking up the both big kills, and MIBR pull back that retake for another round.
You've got to be kidding me right there. Oh my god. That's nearly the nail in the coffin for Fluxo, surely. The frustration setting in right there. On a round like that. Almost a guarantee for Fluxo to give themselves some comfort in this half, but instead it gets robbed from them right underneath them. Yota, that's a huge round. It doesn't get better than that.
I mean, before that round, you could have even said this game isn't over. Like, there was a world where Fluxo just wake up, bring rounds back, and say, you know what? We're still in this game.
That's some money
now,
broken.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you have to go off of?
They could have broken the economy of MIBR, and then that's where you start to get to the 10-5 territory, which that's a confident T half. That's workable.
Yeah.
That's a solid T half. But instead, you know, the worst case scenario, they could be staring down the barrel of a 13-2, and that's not really feasible.
And on top of that, like we just highlighted, that could have been MIBR's breaking point. Well, now that story goes for Fluxo. If you lose this, you're going back to pistols. And it already starts with a headshot on a VSM. Fluxo are lost for answers.
That's so frustrating. Dropping a man early here. VSM. Take it down. Not a fun way to kick this one off and another one. The paint does not stop. The head's popping off. Woody nailed to the wall right there. And I just think that round, and then right after that, to get demoralized like this, this could be Fluxo's ending days here in this best of 3.
And Lux is left with a Glock and nothing else. All the weapons he could try to achieve are...
Okay.
What did you just...
What?
There's no... Okay. I am... What's going on here, man? Like, he can barely even get the gun. He's not even going to save it.
Oh,
50
no doubt.
seconds and Yoda's hot on his heels. Lux, does he know? It seems like he doesn't. Jump straight into the barrel. And even a couple extra bullets added for BM. MIBR are 1 away from the most dominant half we've seen today.
It's dominant half, and honestly, closing this one out 13-2 would definitely make a convincing case for them to get their ticket straight to the RMR. An easy access. They get it on their first go-around. They'll be meeting Payne in the grand finals of this open quali for that best of 1 as well. And still, I mean, it's not the end of the world for Fluxo. They still got a chance to qualify in the best of 3. Right? So, it's not a complete disaster.
Oh, they're going to go for an A take. I mean, I understand it. When they've gone A, there's been signs of weakness for MIBR. There's been ways to crack open the nutshell that's been this defense, but will that happen again? So far, so good. Yoda caught going through a donut smoke, but you still got a flanker to deal with, and apparently it's light work. Brenson can't find up the response, and while there's a lot of low bars to try to take down, MIBR are running out of numbers to respond.
It's just not the player you want to be walking with, but maybe that's a way to get bypast him. Still, though, Henny striking, and there's a Team K in the feed as well. Numbers getting punched in, and there's a fast flank of Donut.
They're also low, and they can't do any damage to Turtle. Back to the 2v2 we go with less than 100 health combined between the 2 Fluxo members left. 2 flashes and nothing more than that. Only relying on the arms they have to help them in this one. VSM closes the gap and leaves it to Henny. The op alone in the 1v2 and even flashed up. Woody won't let him get the mark off. That last flash finally utilized. And Henny's got all the info he could ever ask for. All bits of utility used up as he picks up the first flick. VSM hiding behind the sight boxes, but he refuses to give him the headshot. And Fluxo at least close it out on a high note, but 12-3 as high as that can be. MIBR already look pretty close to securing themselves that RMR spot.
No doubt. That's a convincing half right there. A very, very strong scoreline to walk into this. I mean, it's not over yet. Fluxo, if they get the pistol, I do think that they can very quickly start to rally some momentum. But when we're this late in the game, it's definitely hard to pull that out of the hat, right? You can kind of feel gassed and down and out. That cannot be the case if Fluxo want to bring this one back. They're not over just yet. I know it means MIBR haven't stamped their ticket.
I
They've
mean,
definitely given themselves a good case.
honestly, I don't even think this result shocks me that much. If you think all the way back to map 1, where, yeah, they're neck and neck for the majority of it, but you see a lot of the clutch plays that Fluxo have had in this series so far, they come out in overtime there. Like, most of their highlight reels in this series come in overtime of Vertigo. If you think as this series continued and progressed more and more, MIBR looked stronger and stronger, but I think hard about it, I don't even see that much of a difference. Like, MIBR looked just about the same on that CT side that they did on Dust 2, and a lot of what we saw on Vertigo. I think it's just this dexterity that's winning them this series that Fluxo are really lacking in.
Yeah, stamina. It's the name of the game right now, and MIBR, they got a second wind here in Ancient to shut things down. I think rallying off a whole lot of momentum. Vertigo was a wake-up call for them for sure. Because they came into this matchup, I'm sure, feeling like they were the favorites, and then, you know, had to battle it out for a loss on Vertigo. They cleaned it up on Dust 2, and I think they cleaned up their act, all things considered. Because they have not looked back since.
Yeah. And almost any grasp of success that Fluxo have found in this map so far, there's always a sense of doubt in my head. Like, oh, well, if this pick didn't go their way, or this or that. But you look at MIBR's rounds, and just about all of them are very convincing, very comfortable wins, where they looked like they were on top at all times.
No doubt. No doubt. It's, again,
It's just-
either way, I mean, another chance. It's going to be a late best of 3, but, you know, after this, they have a chance to take on 0-0 Nation. And another little point is that Pain Gaming have looked out of their minds, so I don't want to take that 2-0 result as 0-0 Nation being bad, but more so Pain Gaming coming into this open qualifier, probably hungry to take this whole thing home. It's not going to be an easy matchup. This Pain Gaming potential to close out this entire open quali is definitely there with how well they've been playing. But either way, you know, whatever team ends up dropping this, taking on 0-0 Nation, it's not a kind task. You don't want to be, you know, dealing with that as your last chance to qualify, but I mean, it's definitely still in the realms of possibility. Fluxo have given us proof that they are a team not to be messed with.
Yeah, they've had moments of excellence. Like, there were points on Dust 2 where they looked scary. Like, you thought they were going to go ahead and close out the series there. But, again, I feel like it's just the fact that as time went on, they looked a bit more and more sloppy to where we come now, and it just doesn't even seem like they have a game plan in a lot of these rounds.
Yeah, not one that's workable, that's for sure. Some similar issues, as you have kind of seen coming through from Fluxo as well. Clock management doesn't seem to be all there, I'll be honest with you. They lost a couple of rounds on Vertigo in the exact same fashion as they did here on Ancient, just simply not having enough time. When one thing goes wrong, it seems like their entire game plan comes collapsing. So, definitely some signs of a new team, I think, more than anything, right? Because this is a very new roster. So it takes time to nail out some of these issues. It takes time to become a more adaptable. And, you know, again, with this result and with 2 more open qualifiers underway, the competition potentially could get less and less as time goes on. And so
Right.
I don't think there's too much worry for Fluxo at the moment.
Yeah, from what we've seen, they definitely should be qualifying in some of these future open RMRs. There's no question there for me. It's just, how well will they do when they get there? Because
Yeah.
if these mistakes keep showing, if the adaptation isn't there, or if it's as sloppy, probably not bound to go that far. But there's a lot of a foundation to work off of right now if you're Fluxo.
No doubt. That plus time will definitely help. Mid aggression is going to come through. Oh, the flashes are so well placed. Another one, and everyone on the CT side is blind. Shots not connecting, but it's damage done. Look at these 3 players on 1 HP, and Henny's going to eventually finish the job. Everyone getting swiped away, and not a single point of damage taken. There's finally a shot landed, but Henny's just going to nail him straight to the wall.
And it just looks like MIBR want to get this one over with. With a round like that, that's just using confidence right there. And he literally dives through the house smoke and finds a headshot. Like, you can't make that up. That right there is confidence. That's an MIBR player that knows he is about to qualify for the Americas RMR.
Yeah, that's definitely it right there. Winning the pistol in this fashion. I mean, sure, you can force up in this next one, but that's a statement to be made. Flashes were so insane right there from MIBR. Think about all of the presence to do no damage in that round until, you know, Henny pushes through a smoke is insane.
I don't know, man. And they're even hunting down Lucaozy. He is not getting away. Yoda has got his name written on his Glock. MIBR. 10 rounds in the driver's seat. And Fluxo, I think they're already chalking it down to the lower bracket run. They're already figuring out what Double O Nation are going to throw at them.
No doubt. Emotion's probably at an all-time high for MIBR after that round as well. Probably having a hoot with all of those flashbangs coming over. I like the force buy call. It's kind of obvious it's necessary. And look at this read. No one's on B right now. They're just going to rush up the ramp free of charge.
I mean, the rotations come through, but, like, what was Fluxo doing at the start of this round? Lucaozy wants to make up for it, but he can only deliver on the one headshot, damage dealt onto another, but they can't seem to finish the food. As the bomb goes down, it's a 4-on-3 retake, and there's a couple guns dropped around the site, but too far away to get their hands on. That scout's recovered, but Fluxo might honestly have better interest saving it to the next round. Shots fire out through the smoke, and they now know where every remaining CT is. MIBR keep this pressure on, and it doesn't even look like they can escape CT spawn. Tag comes through on the scout, but the kill isn't found. It's up to Phelps, and Brenzen takes matters to his own hands. The hat trick for 14th.
Flashes were too good. The read was incredible from MIBR just to walk up the ramp. Scary to do on a round like that, but also, I guess scary, but think about the risks that they can take with their current lead. They can take any risk necessary. You know, nothing is kind of out of touch with how strong and good they are in this position. Eco called in, so you think this is going to be series point coming up. MIBR inches away, closing this out. Just going to run up the ramp room. But there you go, Lucaozy. Offering up some resistance.
I mean, VSM is known for his Deagle excellence, and he's here to try to contest with his teammates, but I don't know how many there will be left after the initial fights don't go their way. Well, he's rotating in, but 3-on-4, health, bit low on a couple of the players, but MIBR put their foot on the gas and hold. They wait to see what the response is from Fluxo. What do they do? Do they give us anything back? The answer is no. Just playing it passive, playing it patient, and maybe seeing if they could catch a pick or two. Bring this a bit closer. Grab onto a gun and work from there.
Spotting out some of that aggression, though, Woody. Not able to collect any further responses. At least they do have everyone stacked up on the right bomb site, though, and MIBR just going to battle them out. They're versus the pistols, they're versus no armor, but Turtle's very low, and there's a crossfire that's so lethal. Finally showing face, and Lux has yet to show face.
Oh, this is bad. VSM, there's his Deagle that I just talked about. Yoda stuck between a rock and a hard place, and as the dust settles, it's a P250 against an AK, and Lux saves Fluxo's game with what should have certainly been match point. Now maybe they can start to build into something. Again, it's so early on, but all it takes is one round like that to get you guys back into it. Energy-wise, probably at an all-time high.
That is incredible stuff. Able to grab that round. And they close out as easy as they thought. I mean, that was their easiest pathway. And like you said, knowing that that's the case, it can be hard to actually muster some of that success. They're going to go for a late mid pop, though. And I think this flashbang is going to set them up nicely.
This opening kill is going to mean absolutely everything, and it's not one they find. Phelps fully blinded. There's no chance to find that one, and Brenzen continues his trudging campaign to a second. FXvsm and Lucaozy, this is a big disadvantage to be put in, especially considering your troops are split across the map. MIBR have just about as even of a chance at winning the round if they go any direction.
Two opening picks is not the way you wanted to bounce back here, Fluxo. They won an eco. Maybe they can make a miracle happen twice. Lux is still alive. He was the hero of last round. They're re-aggressing here, and I think that MIBR have the right idea. They're just going to walk in towards this A, pretty much free. And BRN ready for this mid re-aggression. VSM has to be careful about the angles he's covering. He does find the kill, and he's going to make his way back towards A, but I just don't think it's going to mean too much.
I mean, timing is going to be absolutely everything, right? You've got this flank coming through from Yoda, but if the cap player catches him off guard, then we're all of a sudden back to a 3-on-3. And while MIBR have site control, they've got no utility and not a lot of space. VSM has still occupied himself in Donut. And while they have all the info on two CTs being here, they still need to deliver in the kill feed. Henny makes the job in front of them a bit easier as the remaining Fluxo members are completely isolated from one another. There is a kit still in play. That Molotov lies on the ground, but when you got Lucaozy still on your side, kicking and screaming, it's not like it's an impossibility, but as the timer continues to dwindle away, it seems like Fluxo give up more and more of a hope at contending for this one, so MIBR, I guess better late than never, they find map and series point, and Fluxo only, one mistake needed, and MIBR are going to qualify.
Yeah, one step closer right there. The eco clearly not a lifeline for Fluxo, at least not enough. When the gun rounds get swiped away just like that. And you can see, I mean, everyone on this MIBR team is stepping up here. Everyone's had their individual moments. I mean, Exit had that huge hold on the A site. He hasn't gotten too much action, but he's usually the player that you'd expect to be on top. He's just sitting at a comfortable 13-6. Solid 2.0 KD, and I mean, again, it has to feel so incredibly good to try and close out this fashion. You're so close. They're just going to try and finish things off with a A hit, it seems like.
Probably going to work too. Only one person here. That's VSM and a 5-7. And considering he's holding on to most of the utility for Fluxo, and how aggressive he is, this is a massive risk that he's about to take with no chance to challenge it. Walking through the Molotov, there's no risk. The frags finally come back, but in the 3-on-3, Exit's about to find a wide open B bomb site, a big gap to be exploited in the Fluxo defense, and Yoda hasn't fully committed to this A site. Exit's going to go wandering all the way through and spot a man potentially rotating back in a CT spawn, and Phelps will probably have no response, or he'll have one, but it's on the wrong side of the map.
Oh, look at this timing though. Exit's going to get caught blindsided. He doesn't get taken down. Oh, but eventually will be finished off. Yoda left in a 1-on-3 now. Potential. Has to pass the first test, and he does so resoundingly. Lux gets dropped, and now wisely repositioning here towards the catwalk. Could isolate another duel, but instead they both grouped up in towards cave, so really playing this one nicely.
I thought for a second there he was going to go for the long flank around in cave, and that would have been the game done and dusted right there, but now it's him getting timing as he looks to CT. Phelps emerges from the cave angle and finds Fluxo's 5th. It's interchanging rounds, but it grants Fluxo another lifeline in this series.
Fantastic work. I mean, they're hanging on by a thread, though. It's just staying afloat. As much as you could say for Fluxo. 10 runs in a row on the CT side. It's workable. I've seen it happen. Just seems a bit unlikely. Everyone on MIBR playing a little bit too sharp for that success to be continued here. Bypassing this mid-control. Yota doesn't realize that one's slipped on by him. And now they're going to look to make a play through the smoke wall, but Woody has coverage. I was about to say, maybe they call mid clear and there's a play for BRN to make, but not the case.
Not at all. Now MIBR would be lucky to find a bomb plant around like this, but they were given an avenue to work with over in the A tunnels. VSM has loosened his grip on that position just a little bit. It's not like he's completely neglected it, but nowhere near as aggressive as he was before. Henny wants to go on top of Turtle's head, but it seems like they're about to call it off at the worst time. VSM is going to spot the shoulder of them both and dismantle the potential for MIBR in this round. 1 versus 5 for Exit. Fluxo continue to stay alive little by little. They chew back away at this lead, and VSM has woken up. That is not a very welcoming prospect if you're MIBR.
No, I mean, I feel like they've had a couple opportunities for this game to be done and dusted, and they're losing the grip on that. Now they're on to just Glocks here, and that's what's even more scary. That it can feel like, you know, Fluxo, they start to build up that bank account. Not like there's any matter of reserve. It's just about getting that utility, all of those AKs grabbed over from, you know, the T side, and you can really quickly start to turn an ancient game around. Still a long way going, and I'm not really a believer just yet. But you have to start somewhere.
No way. There's just no way, right? Certainly not. Okay. I was worried with all that early damage that had been dealt. Yeah, 2 players not looking the right way, and that could have gone a whirlwind of ways in the favor of MIBR, but Fluxo, I'd honestly say lucky to come out the victors in that one. MIBR, I guess, duty accomplished. You got, what, 2 kills? So, now they bring the guns back out, see if they can't finish the story of Fluxo on the winner's side.
Not pretty on the buy-in utility here for MIBR either, so could come into question later down the line. Going straight towards that A side here. They've got a lot of rounds that they gamble with. So
It just seems like with how MIBR are playing in these couple of like gun rounds that we've seen, they don't care to give Fluxo respect. Like, just W key all the way up into A, wait for people to get in a position outside mid, and then flash up and in. Finally, Fluxo put an end to that, and they're going to start eating their own words for making these, I'd say, careless aggressions in some spots, or maybe not. A kill comes back, and almost double time. They spot a second man behind the site boxes, but VSM's only duty is to stay alive and buy for the rotations. Peeks up for 1, and with the health low on the remaining members, it seems like Fluxo have this one under lock and key, only a couple away from double digits, so they are certainly grasping onto life in this one.
that's scary stuff, though, for Henny on such low margins. Molly is well placed there, but it's just going to offer up a little bit more clarity. And there you go. Henny going to get spammed down through the smoke. VSM denying that opportunity, and Turtle spotted out as well. So nicely recovered, but man, did they make that look possible with a couple of those entries on that A side.
They did, but now the only thing looking possible is them sticking to these pistols. MIBR about to forfeit up a 9th round to Fluxo, and I know it is still such a long way on the road to redemption. They would have had to have won 11 in a row, and the win here would only be 5. Half of that, not even. But still, they keep allowing little tiny cracks in the armor that Fluxo keep abusing. And as time goes on, those nerves are going to rack up and up and up. This isn't a round I expect them to contest for, though. Yeah, so far just a bloodbath, and the story stays true of Fluxo staying alive. 6 more required, but with every round passing by, it looks all the more doable. Poof. Sit down.
It's a nice shot. I mean, other than that kill, though, it's really nothing for MIBR to punch back with. Aggression coming down through. And this is where things get a bit scary when you're in this such of a healthy lead. You got to be feeling the pressure at some point. And at this point in time, yeah, timeout called from MIBR. 6 rounds in a row for the CT side's workable, and if you're not punching back, and these rounds are quickly going in Fluxo's favor, that's where things get very, very scary.
And it's not even like they're getting bomb plants either. In most of these rounds, they're just getting shut down. Like, everybody's getting taken out. So, if you keep falling back to these spots where it's play around, take a save, play around, take a save. And when that keeps happening, the only difference between Fluxo and another overtime thriller is 3 good gun rounds.
Yeah, it's not a position that you want to be in at all. I feel like now Fluxo is starting to believe in this comeback here. I'm sure that they were telling each other to take it 1 round at a time.
Yep.
And with every round passing, it becomes more and more reality. Here you can see AWP in the hands of Woody, still held on to. Plenty of utility to go around. It's going to keep them at bay. Here's MIBR, another opportunity to close out, though, with their investment, of course.
And now it's just a waiting game. What can Fluxo do? What's the first mistake made? And there it is, found at the ramp side. Lux has put Fluxo in probably the biggest disadvantage of the series, just on the timing that it happens. Lucaozy thankfully brings it back. And is somehow allowed to get out of dodge safely. Smoke thrown. Renzen takes space, and he takes a dink with the kill. 15-9 could be where it ends. As Fluxo are left 3-on-4. Again, everybody split apart, and they have to make one of the biggest gambles they've made in a long time.
This is an extreme risk right here. A minute left on the clock in this 3-on-4. MIBR knowing that there's going to be these risks taken, though. And they're just hungry to hit that A side right now, but Phelps has just called the majority of that B ramp clear. And off the back of a couple of these smokes, if they start throwing an execute in towards A, they're going to have 3 players. Everyone's stacked up. They're making the gamble, and it's the right read from Fluxo.
This is huge. This is so huge. The AWP is going to be such a big presence here, and now as the utility comes blistering in, they know their call is right. Woody already shuts it down at the opener. 35 seconds, and the timer might be the biggest factor in front of MIBR. As the defense is still so well and deeply established, Flash blinds them up, and soon the smoke will fade. That's if it's necessary. Molly bursts at the back of the site. And finally, we fall back to even territory in the 2-on-2. Shots rain, or no, they don't. Finally peeking out is Phelps, who shuts it down. And Fluxo in the disadvantage. Keep this comeback alive.
That is unbelievable right there. What a read coming through from Fluxo. They stay afloat. Another round where MIBR so eager to close, but can't find the finishing blow. No access to it. Now they're at 10. Now they're 5 rounds away. They've hit that double-digit mark, and
again,
we thought we were going to fall flat. They're answering right back.
They didn't get a bomb plant. They are still left 1 for 1 in these rounds. That money is nowhere near built up, so they keep either investing into Galils, Deagles, bad utility, or you've got to take a save this late in the game. Now Fluxo have 6 rounds in a row. That pressure has got to be felt. You've just used 2 timeouts in a row, and it's not even like you're disrespecting them anymore. Like, you're going toe-to-toe with a Fluxo who has woken up.
Woken up. It's really starting to strike the fear in your eyes right now. If you're the MIBR camp, you're forced by a risky maneuver here. We'll see how it pans out for them. Scary stuff, though. And already opening up things is Lux catching the likes of BRN off guard, burning him down to the flames, and Turtle looking to recover that lost space. Already up the ramp, but
look where they are. Look around the map. Like, you've got a player pushed up in A tons. You've got somebody back in near holding a mid push. You've got 2 in ramp. Like, this could go wrong at every turn from MIBR, and an unlucky spam could make it go even worse. Nade connects for a chunky amount of damage as Turtle has to cower back to the B doors. And almost all utility is bled out from the CT side, sure. That doesn't give me any more of a hope for MIBR to close it out here.
yeah, like you said, there's just so much space to reclaim, and they're all spread thin, hoping for some sort of isolated fight. Oh, that's going to be given to them. Henny going to grab a pick. He doesn't get knocked down either. No trade available from Woody just yet. He's still holding this line.
Into the open too. He's got to take this tool, but I'm surprised that Henny didn't end up committing to that, knowing that he had to be forced into the open. I guess it is the danger of the AWP, but it's caused the perfect distraction. The perfect storm is 3 players from Fluxo have rotated out of B. You still got Lucaozy tucked into K with a lot of map control in on this retake, but 4-on-4, utility doesn't favor you. With 26 seconds, the game is on the line.
It's best position that MIBR have been in all half so far in some of these losing rounds. So now they can close this out in a 4-on-4. They have a big flank coming as well, but it has to activate, and it has to activate soon.
Wait, they know it's 3-on-4. They know somebody's still on A. Like, if they put their pedal to the metal, then it's going to be a disadvantage for them. But just a little bit too slow. Lucaozy comes through on Cave, and a 2-for-1 trade is not what they were looking for. The last man's on an A rotation, and Woody shut it down. MIBR have fumbled the bag at one of their best chances to close out the series.
Oh my god. It has to be happening at this point. That's a round that you should lock in right there. Because you said it best. I mean, they knew that flank was coming, but they only had 2 players to retake. You had to have Woody holding that flank with the AWP right there, and he was kind of out of contention of that round. But man, do they make it work. Some spam coming through as well on that player in Cubby that could have changed the round, and instead Fluxo pulled it out of the hat. It's unbelievable, but again, all of this leading up to a potential overtime is so surreal. MIBR have to be feeling the pressure now.
That's it. That was the chance. That was where MIBR close out the series and qualify to the Americas RMR. But now, Fluxo have every reason to think to themselves, we can do this. 7 in a row, potentially 8. The best buy we've seen from MIBR in a while, but still at the same spot of needing a bomb plant at bare minimum.
This is scary territory. MIBR did not want to be here. Not at all. They're forced to fight. They had so many opportunities as well. I mean, think about the eco that they lost. There was plenty of chances for them to get this one done with, over. I mean, we were looking at a potential 13-3 scoreline, but there you go. An opening exchange going in the way of the T's. There's a big pickup. Woody looking to reclaim this lost space, but triple swing, he's only good for the singular, of course. There's far too many targets. Spamming through the smoke. Phelps is almost good for it. Lux to conceal.
That's not Brenton. They know there's another heater. They know he's got to be stuck behind the boxes, and Lux uses that information to his advantage. Second in the game, the bomb still needs to cross over in the B ramp exit. One of the biggest tools he'll take all day.
Waiting
One
for Turtle.
that's required if they want to win it.
Look at this Turtle in the back lane. Going to take a fight towards Phelps. He's going to lose it.
Every advantage in the book. It's just not enough. MIBR go swinging out mid. They take down the Opera. They find themselves an advantage. There was no utility left, and Fluxo still emerged from the ashes victorious. 1 health between Phelps and falling, and all of a sudden, 3 does not look that bad. 15-12, and MIBR take a save.
It's just so unbelievable here. Not like this. Not if you're in a MIBR. How do you even bounce back in overtime after all of this, you know, thwarting on the T side, everything getting destroyed? The mental has to bounce back at some point here. They're going for another half by, like you said. Less firepower in this round. And you think to yourself, surely they can't close out on a round like this. So 13 seems but likely. And that would put them so close to the finish line.
Bomb on the back of exit is 4 of the 5 MIBR players look to try to hit up at the B site. Fluxo, he's gonna get caught off guard. AK not on time, and all of a sudden another rifle's picked up at the T side, onslaughting into the B site. Lucaozy can't get a kill either. It's 4 on 3, and MIBR with full site control and weapons to boot have a big chance to close it out here. Looking the wrong way, that AK falls dormant, but we're still even in the footing. That AK, they want to pick it up, but Exit wants more than just the AK. He wants the game, he wants the kill, he wants the round, as he's just giving them another big advantage. 1 splash, 1 smoke, that's all Fluxo have to pull this back. But they make it look doable at almost every turn. VSM's flank proves to be big. Now they know the remaining parts of this T side are stuck in cave. The timing could be everything as the smoke's thrown through. It's not planted in a common spot, so they could get caught off guard by it. Yoda around the smoke finds one, and they leave it to VSM. The clutch god, 1v2, and he keeps them alive. Fluxo, stay in it.
Oh my god, again and again and again. This guy has bailed out Fluxo. He's the reason they're even in this game. Things could have been shut down in Vertigo, and another 1v2 for this guy to add to the belt, to the clutch department. The one thing that we asked coming into this game as well was, is he going to show up? Is he going to reactivate? Because Dust 2 was silent, now an Ancient, and the all-important round right there to keep them alive. He closes it out.
And you know that TeamSpeak's getting loud after that one, Fluxo. If they didn't have energy before, they sure as hell have it now. MIBR, how can you get yourselves hyped back into this game? What can you tell yourselves to excuse the fact that you've just dropped 9 rounds in a row? Fluxo, they're ready to compete here. If they weren't a long time ago.
Oh man, yeah, you're exactly right. How could you even rally the troops after a round like that? They've had so many devastating rounds, you'd think surely it can't happen again, but every single time it does. They've shown no signs of stopping here. Deep angle held from Woody, who's so well prepped for this. If he gets an opening pick, it's going to be curtains for a round like this. It's going to be so hard to reactivate, but he misses his shot.
It's going to be an all-out brawl on A here in a moment. MIBR have grouped up every single reinforcement they have in the A tunnels. And nobody's making that first mistake. Nobody's making the first move. It's so timid from both of these teams, not even using utility. They want to save it all for the big finale, for the A site finish. But as time ticks forward, Fluxo realize they've got more than can really be dealt with. 40 seconds to go, the
It's
final
another
smoke
smoke.
used, but when they get into the site, there's not going to be enough time to do anything.
Yeah, this is an issue that Fluxo had, right? They walk into these sites with only 20 seconds left. If one thing goes wrong, if one little problem takes place during this execute, then they're going to be out of luck. But look at this. They're kind of rotating off of this bomb site here, and they might not be prepped and ready for this.
Oh, utility and footsteps, though, will confirm what's going on. 19 seconds, and every single man you can have here is ready to boot. Woody only with the one. But it can't end here. Certainly not. Not after what VSM just did to keep you alive. 10 seconds to go. And MIBR get a run back at what happened in the last round. Lucaozy and Lux this time to show what they're made of. Both with kits and one nade to use. But the bomb planted in such an awkward spot, you're going to have to find these kills. There is no world where you find the ninja defuse. So they all play patiently and wait for the first move to be made. Footsteps are going to be heard and confirmed by the cave player. Kill is not found, and Lux is left with an impossible task that he won't answer with. MIBR barely close it out, even shedding their skin with how close that was at the end. And a 16-13 close to Ancient means they are our qualificant.
Yeah, welcome to the RMR right there. That's a huge pickup from MIBR. And I mean, again, I feel like Fluxo, they had themselves lightning striking once, and you say it can't strike twice. It did, and then it struck a third time and a fourth time, and that right there, you asked for 5 times. It's just not going to happen. MIBR, they played